Why hello everybody, Spencer here, also known as ScreenSpeak, and in today's video, this is my top 10 animated movies that I have seen in my lifetime. So with that said, everyone, let's rank. Alright, so as I just said before the intro, this is a top 10 animated movies list. I'm going to be, for this month of January, since there's not a lot of movies I'm going out to see, I wanted to take the time to do a few lists here. I've gotten into the groove of doing lists and rankings and such. So these are going to be movies that I have seen, and the animated list I wanted to, it's going to be like a lot, like a period of my life that I have seen, and there's not too many older movies here. The oldest one I believe goes to 2002, or that's not right. Yeah, 2002. So, with that, make that with what you will. I like old Disney movies, for instance. I mean, I didn't really grow up with Snow White, but I think there's, like, fun to be had with the older Disney stuff. And, you know, it's just, the old Pinocchio is probably my favorite. Like, I don't really grow up with that either, but there's just some stuff, like The Little Mermaid's fun, the original Lion King is great, but those aren't cracking this list. So, with that said, let's get started. I have movies from other genres, or from genres, from different animated studios and stuff like that. So, let's get started. Number 10, and that is the Shaun the Sheep movie. Now, I actually want to throw in some honorable mentions here before I talk about it. The Penguins of Madagascar movie, I've watched that endlessly, and the SpongeBob movie, the first SpongeBob movie. The second SpongeBob movie has some merit, though, because I remember the theater experience when I went and saw it with my dad. Beyond that, the first SpongeBob movie is beyond awesome, but I had that on my list. I had both of those on my list until I was like, nah, these need to be on my list. So, the Shaun the Sheep movie is at number 10, and this is a movie that I grew up watching Shaun the Sheep. I'm a childhood, I'm that guy. And it's, I don't even know when it came out, like, I don't know. But I literally watched the Wallace and Gromit in the new movie, and it's so fun. And there's a Shaun the Sheep cameo in that movie. Speaking of that, when I went to see the Shaun the Sheep movie back in 2015, it is now 10 years old. Man, I can't, it's a decade old. Anyway, there were a lot of jokes my parents and my parents' friends were laughing at, because we all went, like, my parents and then two of their friends, a couple that I knew that I know really well, and me went all to see the movie, and they're laughing, and I'm like, okay, am I supposed to be laughing? Like, I knew who Shaun the Sheep was, but I'm like, am I supposed to be laughing? And there are a lot of adult jokes that I weren't getting. Now, as an adult, seeing the movie more on repeat, it's so good. Like, I understand the adult jokes, I understand the story even more now, and it's so, it's emotional with no dialogue, and like a silent movie. It's so good, and you know, people go, oh, have you seen a silent movie? And off the top of my head, this isn't one you're really thinking about, but it is a silent movie, and it's so good at what it's trying to accomplish, at the just the acting of sorts, the characters. It's just all good all around. So Shaun the Sheep movie comes in at, and by the way, they made another one called Farmageddon on Netflix. It's not half bad, but it's not up to par with the first one. So it comes in at number 10. I don't know why I said 1, but number 10. Number 9 is the Lilo and Stitch. I don't know why I say the Lilo and Stitch movie. The first Lilo and Stitch. This is one of my Disney movies on this list. I actually have 3 Disney movies. I forgot about that. I thought I had 2. 3 Disney movies, or the Lilo and Stitch. They made Lilo and Stitch 2, and then they made the series. I don't know what order. Then they had a series. Then they had Leroy and Stitch. And then I think they had another one or something or other. Now they're doing a live action. And I think it's the right idea for this. This is the right Disney movie. And then they're doing live action How to Train Your Dragon. But that's another story. So, this is a movie that I fell in love with literally last week. I watched it, or a couple weeks ago, based off of when this video is coming out. So, I watched this for the first time. And it's incredible. I heard so many good things about it, and I heard that we were getting a live action. I'm like, I still have never seen this, and I took the time the first week of January to watch this movie. It's so good. It did not disappoint me. I didn't think that it would, but I knew that it wouldn't. but I was just not sure what to expect. I knew about the character of Stitch, and I knew that he was an alien and sort of stuff. I just didn't know how the movie would play out, and after watching it, I fell in love with it. And this, like, rightfully so, I was like, slap it on. Because of the fact, it's, oh my gosh, there's 3 Disney movies. Bolt. Bolt is another Disney movie that I absolutely love, and it's not on this list, but there's another Disney movie on this list I don't want to mention until later. But there's 3 Disney movies, like this one in particular, it's so good. Like, the fact that it came out in 2002, it has an audience. It's not like the original, like, Lion King, Little Mermaid, Aladdin stuff, and Aladdin's another good one as well. That's actually one I really love as well. I forgot when I said I didn't grow up with these things, but Aladdin is one I love. But Lilo and Stitch is just, it for me, over Aladdin, because it doesn't need music to... Music's not a bad thing, but when you can... And well, I say that, it's not a musical movie, but it uses Elvis in a really nice environment. It just does all these things, the story, the girl and her dog story, really, and I love that about this movie. And I can't wait to see how they interpret that with live action. So with that said, Lilo and Stitch comes in at number 9. Number 8 is my next Disney ranking, Disney spot, which is The Incredibles. And as I was just saying about Disney movies, this is Pixar Disney. So I didn't really grow up with Disney animated films, but I grew up with Disney Pixar. So 2004, this is my year, okay? As I said, Lilo and Stitch was 2002, so it had that audience, but I didn't really pick up, like, gravitate towards Lilo and Stitch. I literally just watched it for the first time, like, a couple weeks ago. This I grew up with, and this is a movie that I was really passionate about when I heard Incredibles 2 was coming out, and I can't wait for Incredibles 3. I love this world. Now, Incredibles 2 didn't make it on this list, but it shouldn't. But at any rate, I could make a sequel list. That's good. The Incredibles is so timeless, and I've never been, like, I after Incredibles 2, I would rewatch that on repeat, and I thought, oh, The Incredibles, it's not as, like, freshly animated, but you know what? I literally watched both of them again, and I still really enjoy the second Incredibles, but the first one with Syndrome, the robot, the music, both them, I love both the soundtracks in both of them, don't get me wrong, that's not a discredit. I love that. But the first one is, like, so good, the story, the pacing, and I love that they have, at both of the movies, have these extras, like the Auntie Edna and the Jack Jack attack, showing the things in the middle of the movie. I love that. And, like, things where you can pinpoint, oh, that's when Syndrome goes to the house, and things like that. That's really cool. And Frozone makes it cool. The no cape scene. This is just such a quotable movie. The second one can be too. I think it is, and maybe people will disagree with me on that, but, you know, the first one's just so quotable, and I love superhero movies, and this is the superhero Pixar movie, and I feel like this is in my opinion, the best Pixar movie. You could argue that Ratatouille is, or even Coco, but this is just a great great movie all around, so that's it. It comes in here at number 8. Number 7 is Megamind. Oh my god, can we talk about Megamind for a second? Because I love this movie with a passion, and this had to be on my list, because the music, the Bad to the Bone, like, motifs throughout the movie, the other music they incorporate throughout the movie, Bad, AC/DC, Welcome to the Jungle. No, they don't have Welcome to the Jungle. Actually, yeah, they do. They have Welcome to the Jungle later. But all these things with the story, the good guy, the bad guy trying to defeat the bad guy, and turning into a good guy by creating another good guy that becomes a bad guy. It's such a clever story. It's such a unique twist on a story that, hey, we have this great cast and great movie, guys. Should we make a sequel? Yeah! Let's not get any of the same cast. Let's not finish any of the animation. Let's put it direct to streaming. Oh my god, it's a total bomb. I can't believe what they did with the sequel, but we're not here to talk about it. But I just can't believe that they had that and that they made that. And it's like, hey, great original movie, great first movie, let's completely ruin it. And it's like, what? So yeah, for me, I love this movie because it's just, the premise is so clever and, like, witty and so memorable, quotable. Like I said with The Incredibles, this movie's quotable. and it's like you look like I just want to forget. I just want to take my brain out and like put it like erase the memory of the second one and the TV show. Why would they do that? But it's like, no, it's there, and now people are like, oh, is this any good? And I was like, no, it's not. So anyway, Megamind comes in at number 7. Number 6 is Kubo and the Two Strings. This is my Leica spot. As I said, I had Aardman, which was on the cheap movie. This is my Leica spot. Leica is a stop motion as well. It's not claymation. It's kind of claymation, but it's the little stop motion figures. They change them out. They change out the heads and everything. And I think the time commitment on this is insane. We're getting a new Leica film this year called Wildwood. I talked about that in my top 10 most anticipated list. Kubo and his Two Strings is my favorite out of all 5 of them that are out now. Yes, over Coraline. Sue me, kill me, do anything you want to do, sick me with them, sick them. Do whatever you want. I just slice my head off. I don't care. Take me to court. This is my favorite Leica film because of the story, because of the music, the way he just strums his guitar, the way leaves go around. It's like, listen, Coraline is great. It's my second favorite, but Coraline is pretty freaky. Don't get me wrong. But the way they do this, I'm going to rewatch all of the Leica films up until Wildwood. Or not up until, but for the next 5 weeks, I'm going to rewatch them again. And I can't wait to rewatch Coraline in this again. But for me, it will not change. And the cast, too, like George Takei, Charlize Theron, Matthew McConaughey as Beetle. Like, it's great. Like, those voices, and whoever does Kubo is amazing. And I just like this story. Like I said, the music, the mother-son, and like it's kind of like Paranorman's like Afterlife, but yet with a Chinese flair to it. I don't know. But it's just amazing, and I watched it for the first time, and that Beatles song, While My Guitar Gently Weeps at the end by a different rendition by Regina Spektor, I think it is. So it's just so good. And all the end credit songs in all the Leica movies are like amazing. All on my playlist, actually. But I love this movie. Comes in here at number 6. Number 5 is The Wild Robot. This is my first DreamWorks was Megamind. My other DreamWorks one is The Wild Robot. One of them out of 3. I have 3 Disney and 3 DreamWorks. Look at that. I tied that up pretty nicely. This movie was incredible. This is, I think, one of the most recent ones. The most recent one, because it came out in 2024. And this is incredible. This is literally incredible. Now you might be thinking, well, you're saying a lot of good things, so why not make it number 1? I had so much trouble with this movie. I honestly can't believe I'm placing it lower than the next one. But to be honest with you, I had to. This movie has some messaging about parenting that I couldn't believe. Now, I'm not a parent yet, but I'd like to be. And watching this on screen, and I was like, afterwards, I went to my mom and went, you gotta watch this movie. And my mom and dad went to see this movie, and they're like, that was awesome. Like, it's so good. It deals, like, the parenting aspects with your programming, with animals and nature. It's just so good. It's like Lion King, WALL-E, the Iron Giant, and Big Hero 6 all in one. All in one. If you know, you know. But if you haven't seen those movies, you won't know. But it's just like all of those concepts merged into one, and I love this. So I made a review. With that said, Wild Robot comes in at number 5. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is at number 4. That's what number 4 is. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I was struggled. I was not sure how to make this list, but this comes in here mainly because I don't want to like drone on and on, but because of the anxiety storyline. And you might be wondering, Spencer, well, Screen Speak, there's a movie called Inside Out 2 that has anxiety in it. What about that one? No, that doesn't beat out this movie. This one beats it out. Because of how Perrito and Puss work together, how he helps him out with his anxiety attacks, and how Puss is on his last life. It's kind of heartwarming. It's not kind of, it is very heartwarming, and it's a kind of emotional. For me, I watched Inside Out 2 again yesterday, day of this recording, and it's deep, but something about it, I didn't get as emotional as I should have, and maybe that was just because of the time I was watching it. I got emotional in the theater, I don't know, man. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is just like crazy, and it's tense. Not that I need Inside Out 2 to be tense, which it kind of is, but I don't know, man. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, I was not expecting. It came out of nowhere. I watched it and went, whoa. Like, when you know your movie's better than the first one, you go, whoa, like, wow. Like, the animation style, too, like that, different frame rate, incredible. Love the action scenes. I love death. Death is tense. And just the story all around, I was like, wow. So that said, Puss in Boots, The Last Wish comes in at number 4. We're getting into my top 3, and to be quite frankly with you, I was struggling with this. I mean, I made it work, but I was struggling. And not with the first one, but just all these movies are really good that I was like, man, I was like, ugh. So Wreck-It Ralph comes in at number 3, and I just, I love this movie. This is my other Disney movie on this list here, my last Disney movie. And like I said, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish was the other DreamWorks one. This is the last Disney one I have on this list, and this is like my favorite Disney movie of all time. I'm gonna say, like, Zootopia's on my top 5 probably. Lilo and Stitch is there. Bolt is on there. This is on there, but this is my favorite. Like, the fact they merge all these video games, make this original video game like Sugar Rush, make Hero's Duty, and just merge these 3 games, and then I have like these other ones in there like Pac-Man, Sonic, and the Shoryuken game. I forget what that's called. And Tapper's in there as well. It's just so clever. The jokes are clever. I literally watched this last night because I really wanted to, and it's so good. The second one's not great. There's some fun to be had with the second one, but first one is timeless. Like I said with The Incredibles, it's timeless. Oh, I will be showing this to my kids because this is one I cherish. Hence, it's at my top 3. But just everything about it, you love the characters, you love the story, you're kind of emotional by the end, you love the songs in it. So that said, the sequence is great. That said, Wreck-It Ralph comes in at number 3. Numero dos is the Lego Movie. This is my Warner Brothers spot. Yeah, I just it wasn't happenstance that I wanted to include a Warner Brothers spot. It was just because I love the Lego Movie. This is at number 2, and call me biased, call me addicted, because my friends when this movie came out, they said, "You're addicted to the Lego Movie." I'm like, am I? A guy that likes Legos is addicted to the Lego Movie. Yes, I like Legos, but I have Legos over there. I was a Lego guy, henceforth because I used to have a Lego channel. But I love the Lego Movie, and this came out in 2014. It's now 11 years old, and this movie is, like I said, timeless. The jokes are there. The cast is incredible. Chris Pratt, Alison Brie, Morgan Freeman, Charlie Day, Will Ferrell, Ben Affleck. Whoa, who's that? Will Arnett as Batman, and Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill as Superman and Green Lantern. Just things like that, man. Just things like that. You've got a great cast here. Wow. And there's even more. Elizabeth Banks is Wild Style. Really? Wow. This is a great movie here. The second one, by the way, I have to mention, like, people hate on the second Incredibles. I love the second Lego Movie. I was like, where's the third one? Whatever. Guess we're not getting that. That's a shame. We're not getting the third Lego Movie. We're not getting the second Lego Batman movie. But I like the second part of the Lego Movie. And the first one is just timeless. Like I said, Wreck-It Ralph, great. Lego Movie, great. First Incredibles, great. Now, funny enough, I like the second Incredibles, the second Lego Movie. Second Wreck-It Ralph is better, but Megamind, like, second Wreck-It Ralph is way better than the Megamind 2. Like, let's put that there. But anyway, Lego Movie just has lots of great things about it. The animation is great there. The cast is great. The story is great. And by the end, it leaves a great cliffhanger that you really want to go watch the second one. I think that's the great thing about it, is that now, Incredibles also does the same thing there with that, and like, oh, you want to go watch the next one. Wreck-It Ralph really doesn't do that. It just kind of completes the story. So I feel like in that sense, Wreck-It Ralph is a way better, just contained story. You don't have to watch the second one. But with the Lego Movie and the Incredibles, you can do that. You can go, hey, what's coming up next, right? Because you kind of leave off on a like, ooh. So with that said, Lego Movie comes in at number 2. Not 1, but 2. But now, with the number 1, what is it? It is Across the Spider-Verse. Did you have any question about that? This is a great movie, and look forward to my top 10 movies that I've seen in my life coming up soon this week. So Across the Spider-Verse is number one. For that said, the animation, the cast, which is what I've been saying. Jimmy Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Brian Tyree Henry, just the cast here with Shamik Moore, Haley Steinfeld, Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara, 2099, Spider-Punk, Daniel Kaluuya, Jake Johnson as the regular Peter Parker, Brian Tyree Henry as Peter's dad, and the list goes on and on. Jason Schwartzman as the Spot. This is great. The cast, the animation, the story, it builds and builds and builds upon the first one that they set up. I hope the next one does not disappoint, and I'm going to be repeating myself in next week's video, or in later this week, with my top 10 movies that I've seen. So with that said, guys, I could just talk about this movie forever, but it's like, oh, and people are like, oh, the trailer gives too much away. No, it does not. I don't know what you're talking about. Because do we know that Miles is stuck in another universe? No. Not until you see the movie. It's like, oh, big twist. So, anyway, guys, I love all the things about this movie. There's just, it made a lot. It hit. There's a cultural zeitgeist there, in my opinion, there is, for this movie and for this franchise. I hope the next one does not disappoint, because if it does, it won't be the greatest trilogy of all time, but if it delivers, it can be the greatest trilogy of all time. Say it with me. I want to hear you say it. Say it down in the comments below. I'm just messing with you. But yes, I surely hope that's what happens, because in my opinion, it can be the greatest trilogy of all time. Who knows? So, with that said, let me know in the comments below what your top 10 animated movies are in the comments below. Redundant. I said in the comments below, let me know. Anyway, stay tuned for later this week. I got my top 10 shows of all time and that I've seen, and my top 10 movies that I have seen in my life. That's the what I'm gonna call it, because I don't want to say of all time and people be like, well, you didn't put this movie or this movie, you know. But so that's what I'm doing. So stay tuned for those, and I hope that you enjoy these videos as much as I do making them. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me over at Facebook and X. You know, I got links on my channel now. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow me. Don't forget to keep calm, watch the screen. Peace out, everyone. Bye.